Clay Shirky, thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate
it. Clay Shirky, NYU professor and thought leader on the crossroads of technology and innovation. Clay, how do you see technology and innovation influencing human relations and productivity?
Well, the big change, I study social networks, and the big change is that the old 80-20 optimizations that management knows and loves, which is find the 20% most productive employees, those imperatives were often forced on us because it was simply too expensive to integrate the work of large groups of only partially productive people. When you look around and you see things like Wikipedia or like the Linux operating system, what you see is that the vast majority of participants in those systems only produce a very small, one edit on a Wikipedia article, here's one patch to the Linux operating system. But the ability to integrate all of that work is still enormously valuable. And so there's a change in management technique if you can be open to outside contributors and you can lower the cost of participation. You can actually create a world in which you can take advantage of a lot of ideas from a lot of people rather than saying we have to get 10 people, each of whom has a lot of ideas. We can't take one idea from thousands. And in a way, there's now a kind of a natural competition growing up between organizations that have a few smart people working on things versus organizations that can do this large-scale integration. Neither strategy is going to win, right? We'll always have an Apple and we'll always have a Wikipedia. But the different strategies have different advantages and disadvantages depending on what companies are doing. And this actually increases the range of sort of styles of management.
I know you speak about the roles that autonomy, competence, generosity, and sharing play in innovation. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure. I think one of the great surprises when we saw what people did when they got hold of the internet is they didn't just replicate the 20th century pattern of being couch potatoes. People actually leaned forward into producing, sharing, discussing these things with one another really on a global scale. And when you look at that in terms of the traditional behavior, the sort of media landscape of the 20th century, the question is often, why are these people producing all of this work for free? Why am I making a YouTube video and then producing it for free? But you never go into a bar and say, why are all these people talking for free, right? I mean, we're doing it because we like it. So what's happened is that the internet has become this platform for our non-financial motivations to come forward and change our behavior. And the big non-financial motivations divide roughly into two categories, personal ones and social ones. Personal motivation, if I can do something and it makes me feel either autonomous, I did this by myself, or confident, I did this good at some way. And socially, if I can do something and I feel like I'm doing this and I'm being generous to other people and they appreciate it, or I'm doing this and it's because I'm a member of a community that knows me as a member, those are motivations that get people to do incredible, interesting work over and over again. They'll throw themselves into those jobs without treating them as the kind of jobs you get paid for. They're really the kind of work we do for satisfaction rather than remuneration. And the big surprise about these large collections of voluntarily produced material, Flickr for photos, YouTube for video, Wikipedia as a shared reference group, is that non-financial motivations now have a global stage.
Okay, so it sounds like the concept there is that you're tapping into passion and energy that might not reside, under the banner of financial motivation.
Right, exactly. In fact, very often we pay people. One of the reasons we pay people to do things is because things are boring, right? If you need somebody, to make rivets day in and day out, you can't say, "Oh, everybody loves rivets. Come on down to the factory." So what we're seeing, in a way, is there's now a real imperative to take what we used to discuss under the rubric of passion and say, what are the actual component parts? How is this engine running? And this business of autonomy and competence and membership and generosity are actually four of the things that drive that sort of overarching sense of passion and engagement with some of these sort of collaborative opportunities.
Okay.